Hey everybody. A couple days ago I saw Iron Man 3. And I saw Iron Man 3 for the second time. I'm kind of starting a new thing just to keep my passion intact. If I know I'm going to see a film twice, I'm going to wait after I've seen the film a second time before I record a review. Just because, I don't know, sometimes I get bored and I don't want to get bored with this because I want to keep doing it. So there you go. If I know I'm going to see a film twice, then I'll wait for the second review. And so that's what I've done. I've seen Iron Man 3 twice now. I saw it in 2D both times. Even though it's released in 3D, the 3D was a post-conversion. This film was not conceived nor filmed in 3D. So I, again, believe if you see a 3D film that was post-converted, you are paying much more money for a inferior product. And I could not think of a clearer definition of insanity than that. So I saw this in 2D twice. I enjoyed it. I think it definitely stands with the rest. I think it's better than 2, perhaps equal with 1. I'll tell you, I may have enjoyed it more than the other 2. I am not a Iron Man fanboy. I read comics as a kid. I was a comic book kid. Iron Man never got me. I don't think I ever bought an Iron Man. Maybe if it was a part of a crossover. I can remember Iron Man fighting Venom, maybe for one issue. I think I bought that issue. But I just wasn't an Iron Man fan. You know, I just thought Iron Man was a guy in a suit who fought other guys in suits. And I was just like, you know, okay, they're smart guys fighting with their weapons, you know, pass. I just never got into it. And I thought that that's kind of what the first 2 films were like, which I thought were successful at, you know, representing the Iron Man mythos. But it's what I didn't like about Iron Man. It's like a guy in a suit fighting other guys in suits. And like the ending of 2, where it's just, I guess, Tony and War Machine versus all of those remote-controlled drone bots and Whiplash. That's what I don't like about it. It's just, to me, it's just like robots fighting. And though it was, you know, the action was fantastic, I was just like, well, this is exactly what I don't like about Iron Man. It's just guys in suits fighting. And they weren't even guys in suits. They were robots. I have no fanboy love for Iron Man. You know, so I won't be looking at it from that aspect. This film sees Tony, you know, distraught after his experiences that take place in the Avengers. You know, this is a part, I don't want to waste any time talking about it, but this is the big Marvel films owned by Disney. You know, they're doing phases in the Avengers and what have you. So we see Tony after New York, after coming out of that wormhole, saving the world, what have you. He's distraught. He's got a villain that he himself helped to create. You know, not directly, of course. You know, and there you go. See, the movie's nothing too complex. You know, it's very simple. It's very straightforward. It just tells a very nice, action-y story. You know, it's not anything new. You know, it's not anything new. It just does a good job at being a summer blockbuster popcorn movie. And I think it probably does the most successful job of that when compared to the other 2 Iron Man films. There are things that I really, really liked about this film, and that's how Iron Man, the technology, took a backseat. I really enjoyed how much time Stark spent outside of the suit. You know, I liked watching him go on little adventures, you know, doing things himself, you know, with technology he creates in, you know, like a garage. That kind of gets me off onto another point, but I enjoyed that aspect of it, about how it wasn't until the very end when it becomes an Iron Man suit free-for-all. You know, I enjoyed how the suit took a back seat, and it was about the man inside of it. I really enjoyed that. That's probably what made me, you know, like it more than the others. I also thought the villains were better than any of the villains in the other films. Here you have Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin, who I thought was fantastic in the film. There is a surprise, a spoiler, which I will not reveal, dealing with the Mandarin, dealing with Ben Kingsley, and I was totally surprised by it. I thought it was incredibly smart, and I loved that. You know, I love that. So I really enjoyed that. The other villain is the one that he helps inadvertently create by dissing him at a party. Played by Guy Pearce very well. Guy Pearce is very excellent at being slimy, and he's very slimy here. And he creates these, I guess I want to call them molten men, who can, you know, explode, you know, at will, I guess. But he himself is a brilliant scientist. Everyone appears to be like a brilliant scientist in these movies. Gwyneth Paltrow is also in there. Of course, Iron Man, Tony Stark, is Robert Downey Jr., basically coasting. You know, I don't think it's any type of originality to say that he can do this role in his sleep. I think that Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark in a way. I don't think he has to do much acting for this film. I mean, he's become a multi-millionaire from this role. And well, I read in the article recently that he's been in a movie every year for the last, what'd they say, 5 years or something, that's made over $100 million. I couldn't believe it when I read it. But it was just like year after year after year, he's in a $100 million grossing film. So he's like kind of one of our biggest stars right now, and I think that's all due to Iron Man. You know, again, he just kind of coasts in a way, and that's not fantastic, but, you know, if you can coast and be incredibly entertaining, then, you know, that's fine. I guess what I didn't like about it is, again, it kind of turned into a free-for-all at the end. I mean, I get it, it's the climax, but it was just like, you know, all of this is just leading up to a big robot fight. which is exactly what the other two films are. So it's like, okay, you know, all right. I try not to let it get to me, but there were a lot of problems with physics, you know, for me in this film. And not, again, I definitely don't let it ruin an experience for me. You know, there are some people who watch a movie and, you know, if something happens in a film that is impossible in the physical world, I mean, for some people that ruins it. I'm not so much with that. You know, what ruins films for me is when something, you know, behaves, you know, be against human nature. Physics, I don't so much mind breaking. You know, that's kind of the point of a film, is so that you can break the laws of physics. But, you know, to break, you know, human nature, I don't know, kind of takes some balls, just because, you know, I think a film should be about human nature and dealing with human nature, instead of just throwing the rules out. But, you know, he hop skips across the country in no time. He invents, you know, these crazy contraptions out of not much. He, you know, is like one of the world's most famous men, and he can move undisturbed, you know, throughout a crowd mostly. just sometimes things seem to happen, just to happen. And, there were some moments where I just said, no, how did he get here? What's going on? But then it's just like, why am I thinking? Why am I thinking right now? I'm watching Iron Man. So I don't need to be thinking, I just need to be entertained. And it's incredibly successful at that. It's very, very entertaining. And I think it's smartly written. I think it, again, I think it makes a great comic book movie. I was trying to remember who wrote it. I think Shane Black may have co-written it. I can't remember. Shane Black definitely directed it. Shane Black is a director. If you enjoyed Iron Man 3, I definitely recommend a previous film, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which he also made with Robert Downey Jr., that skewers the, Hollywood, basically making a film mocking Hollywood in a way. I definitely recommend that film if you enjoyed Iron Man 3. So that's Shane Black's previous work. I thought he did a good job here. I definitely, when I think of action summer tentpole, I don't think of Shane Black. So I thought he did a good job here, and in a field that he is not really used to, a special effects extravaganza. I really just enjoyed it. It was kind of a good time in the theater. Maybe slightly disposable. I think that, if I haven't said it, I'm giving it a 7. I think it's a solid 7. It didn't want to try and break free of that pattern that basically Iron Man, the first film, set. It never wanted to be more than that, which, is just kind of disappointing. It just was happy playing to the conventions, but yet playing to the conventions in an extremely, well done manner that still manages to be entertaining. I think the trilogy as a whole is really good. I can kind of get the feeling that if you just sat down on like a Saturday and watched the Iron Man trilogy, that it wouldn't be, too up and down, that it would be pretty static. And again, that's a good thing. It's also kind of a bad thing. I gave the first film an 8 just because it felt so fresh and new. I think I dropped down to a 7 for the second film. And even though I say that this is better than the second one, I still think I got to give it a 7. I don't know, kind of an 8. Again, I never felt like, I was on this roller coaster journey or something. It was just fun. It was just fun, mindless, and it was just done really well. It was funny. I laughed a lot. He's quick with the quip. I don't know what else to say. The special effects, obviously, were outstanding. While waiting for the Avengers teaser at the end of the film after the credits, I was amazed by how many special effects, people there were. I can't, and there are a lot of special effects films, but man, there were just a ton of names doing, VFX, motion capture, just everything. I couldn't believe it. So it was all very well done. The special effects looked really good. It was a good movie. I don't really know what else to say. I'll definitely rent it again one day. I'm glad I saw it twice in the theater. And see, I knew it was kind of a 7 when I came out of it the first time. But yet, I wanted to see it again because it's Iron Man, and it's awesome. And if you're going to watch it, it's going to be on the big screen. You've got to watch it on the big screen. So I wanted to see it again. That's kind of my rule, that I want to see 8s. Definitely see an 8 twice in the theater. But I kind of wanted to see it just for fun. Just for fun. and because it's, you know, awesome. It's cool. Guess that's all I have to say about it. You know, it's Iron Man 3. There's not much else to say about it. You kind of get what you know you're going to get. But for my taste, I think it's probably the most enjoyable of the three. But I could see where some fanboys would be disappointed with the handling of, you know, beloved characters. But for me, it's like, you know, okay, I thought it was very clever, and definitely not done. And when you go back and think about the marketing of the film, you know, I think it's super smart. You know, I think it's super smart and clever. So there you go. I don't think I have much else to say about it. That's Iron Man 3. Saw it twice, and I give it a solid 7. Thanks much.